The University of Sydney has been called out for pumping up Aboriginal employment numbers and students on campus for financial gain. Jobs and even scholarships are being funded by the public to those at the university who simply self-identify as Indigenous without having to prove it. For more on this, let's bring in my panel from the Institute of Public Affairs, Evan Mulholland, and Sky News contributor Prue McSween. Evan, the university get a lot of money for having a certain quota of Aboriginal staff and students. The money's meant to go where it's needed, but there's a lot of concern about self-identifying. This is a question of corruption, I presume.
Well, they've referred it to ICAC, and from the Land Council's view, they seem to be projecting to the university that the university is taking the mickey on this. I mean, this seems to be sort of the pinnacle of identity politics, where you can self-identify as any type of section on the identity politics pyramid, which seems to be happening here. They have wanted to get in touch with a lot of these people that are identifying as Indigenous and haven't been able to, and the university seems to have not been honest with people. So it's kind of identity politics gone mad at the University of Sydney.
It's a concern, Prue, because I presume if it's happening at the University of Sydney, it's not the only place.
Exactly. You know, I think these universities need to be policed. There needs to be some sort of inquiry into them. But certainly this rorting, when you can think about it, I get irritated by all the forms I have to fill out where I could self-identify. There's no way of checking, and the kind of welfare benefits that people get. I know it irritates the Indigenous people too. The real Indigenous people are sick of the rorters who want to get on the bandwagon.
Yeah, look, they were the most vocal in the reports on this issue today. Let's go to the announcement of the new captain of the Australian cricket team, Pat Cummins, announced this afternoon after Tim Payne stepped down after that sexting scandal. But, you know, he's a good quick. He's got plenty of bowling prowess, but he's made it clear he's going to use his position as a platform for things like climate change. Surely, Evan, we've had enough of politics in sport. He belongs to this cool-down initiative, sports leaders on climate change. There was the knee, and now there's this issue. Can't they just play sport?
Yeah, Pat Cummins has got to be very careful here. I think punters have had a gutful of political correctness in sport. We did some polling that found over half of Australians think that sporting codes have become too politically correct, and I think the last week has justified that. If he wants to lecture on climate change, he's going to be putting off a lot of cricket fans who use going to the cricket and watching cricket as an escape from all this woke nonsense.
Yeah, particularly after the last 2 years that we've had, Prue, you know, things have been pretty bleak. We want to go to sport or the theatre or whatever it might be that's your favourite pastime and really switch off. We don't want it rammed down our throat.
We don't. I'm sick of sports people and other people who are using their positions to preach to us about their particular PC bent. And I think that, you know, while he's a young bloke, apparently he's a really lovely, intelligent guy, but he needs to be really careful. And hopefully Steve Smith will make him moderate his temperament to maybe go that way. I know they're probably also trying to attract younger audiences to keep cricket alive, but it's the wrong way to go if he starts mouthing off with all that nonsense.
Now, I've got another one. I can't be the only one that just wishes the local council will get back to local issues. You know, forget the refugee staff and the climate action, none of which are in the local government remit. This latest example, the Greens-dominated Yarra Council in Melbourne, $22,000 on a banana sculpture. Well, what's worse, this money came out of a $100,000 taxpayer-funded grant from the TAC. Now, the Transport Accident Commission, Evan, the TAC, is meant to be there to provide insurance money for people who are physically damaged and hurt in car accidents, cycling accidents, whatever the case may be. Wheelchairs, that sort of thing. The idea that it's going into banana sculpture does my head in.
Peter, nothing surprises me anymore when it comes to the City of Yarra. I'm a former resident of the City of Yarra, and you know their brochures that they send around look like something that would come from a student union. Thousands of residents are up in arms about all sorts of schemes going on with the council, all sorts of scandals, from their 4-bin system to charging small businesses $5,000 to set up an outdoor area. And I think a lot of people are having buyer's remorse for electing a majority Greens councils. And this is what a majority Greens council looks like. They are a disgrace of a council, and the residents just want them to get back to roads, rubbish and keeping rates low.
Well, let's just go quickly to the United States. It's Thanksgiving over there. There's a lot of trouble for Biden in the polls and Kamala Harris. And of course, you'd think he'd have his head down, the family around the table for Thanksgiving dinner and keep it nice and low key. But no, he's going to a billionaire's compound in Nantucket. It's caused a bit of a ruckus in the US. Prue, he's got a tin ear on this stuff, isn't he? Inflation's at a 31-year high and turkeys are expensive and he's out with the billionaires.
Oh, he's totally tone deaf, but, you know, and he is deaf. I mean, the man really needs to be pulled into line, or I don't know. What's his wife doing? She's a doctor, isn't she? I don't know if she's a medical doctor, but she looks like she's got more going for her than him. Whoever's advising him, you know, the guy's lost the plot. And meanwhile, China's feeling even more empowered when they just have to look at this bloke who's supposed to be leading the, you know, powerful USA. You've got to think, my God, God help us all. Stupid man, and it's such a shame.
I doubt that Putin or President Xi are going to waste the opportunity that Joe Biden gives them. Prue McSween, Evan Mulholland, appreciate your time. Have a good weekend.